The most unhappy people are liberal women. So the happy ones they tend to be conservative.
Guy who cries on a regular basis, talking about how unhappy liberal men are is pretty funny.
Well, I shouldn't do anything, man, you know.
Jordan Peterson.
65%
Take a look.
of voters feel America is on the wrong track. And 37% of them feel the country's problems have gotten so bad we're now in danger of failing as a nation.
That's right. Psychologist and author Dr. Jordan Peterson is here to react.
Why do we have a Canadian benzo addict responding to this shit? Canadian spotted, opinion discarded.
Utter nonsense. We're richer worldwide than we ever were before.
Are you a Quebecer? Who's we? Are you speaking Le French? The hell is we, brother? You mean we, brother? What's happening here? Oui.
There's absolutely no shortage of resources. Commodity prices have gone down. There were world record harvests this year, and all you ever hear is doom and gloom. And you see that happening everywhere. But some people, you know, they're so optimistic by central temperament that even if they're in a crisis, they're not going to be upset. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, they also tend to be conservatives because we know as well that the most unhappy people are liberal men. And then I think the next most unhappy people are liberal women. And so the happy ones are optimistic and they tend to be conservative.
Guy who cries on a regular basis, talking about how unhappy liberal men are is pretty funny.
Every budding beauty, so ashamed of her breasts that she lets a Machiavellian psychopath cut them off.
You have no idea how many people that's killing. You have no idea. Young people, especially young people with a conscience, because they've been told since they were little that there's nothing to them but corruption and power. It's like, how the hell do you expect them to react? Well, I shouldn't do anything, man, you know. Is there anything more fundamental than pain? Love, really? If you're in pain, love and truth, that's what you got. And you know, if they're more powerful than pain, maybe they're the most real things. Even in the revelation of their triumph, the initial depth of their despair. So I wouldn't change that. But it's not nothing. It's certainly not just happiness. It's better than happiness, but it's almost unbearable. You really want to know what I think? I think it's revenge against God for the crime of being. That's really what I think. It's Cain and Abel. It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh, God? How about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things. And I have my tendency to feel a hell of a lot more sorry for a set of confused, isolated, and lonely pubescent girls who have no one to love them enough to help them appreciate who they are than I do for one overprivileged and unfortunately confused narcissistic Hollywood star.
I want to ask you just quickly, the film director Olivia Wilde has a new movie out, which she says is based on you, this insane man, this pseudo-intellectual hero to the incel community. Incel being these weirdo loner men who are despicable in many ways. Is that you? Are you the intellectual hero to these people?
32 months got me through my marriage.
Sure, why not? You know,
own it!
People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. You know, what a terrible thing to do that is. Thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
It's making you emotional.
Let me tell you something. That's not a normal way to talk about this sort of thing.
Feeling primal AF, brother.
This man, there's something severely wrong with his brain chemistry.
Constantly. How many people are dying for lack of an encouraging word?
Let's go.
Like, that's an odd take, but okay.
What happened to that school of thought where your team was the best team? And the problem maybe for critics would be the arrogance of Americans. Now we have no self-esteem and we want to apologize to everybody. When did that happen, or do you not see it? I think that emerged out of the 60s as well. I think the universities had a lot to do with that. There's the left-wing tyrannical types are particularly good at manipulating guilt, and that actually works quite well on conservatives because conservatives tend to be more conscientious. And so if you accuse a conservative of moral impropriety on the guilt front, they're likely to take that seriously.
That's so stupid. First of all, no, they're not. Secondly, what the f are you talking about? Don't you claim that like liberals always love getting hoisted on their own petard for the same exact moralizing all the time? What the f? It's so dumb. No, conservatives just don't like being called out. That's it. Nobody likes being called out. Conservatives just happen to do shit that is easily call-outable.
No, if you say to someone who's more conscientious. Look, you know, you're probably a little more sexist than you could be, and you're probably a little more racist than you could be. The conservative type who's conscientious is going to think, well, you know, I'm really not perfect, and there are ways I could improve, and I could look at myself, and that's fine, because you should look at yourself. But the problem with it,
the problem with conservatives is that they're too conscientious. That's what I'm always thinking, dude.
let's say you have a non-standard gender identity. Okay, what the hell are other people supposed to do about that?
Yeah.
Like, what are the rules here, right? Because if you're a woman, I kind of know how to treat you. I'm going to do it in a stereotyped way to begin with, because I don't know who the hell you are, so...
It's so funny. Like, he just immediately... Dude, no one asked him to... He volunteered this information. He's like, I'm going to be misogynistic. I'm going to see that you're a woman and say, oh, are you being hysterical? Are you crying? Are you looking for your rolling pin on the way to the kitchen? Why are you not bare feet and pregnant right now? That's what I'm going to say, because I know you're a woman. How about a smile for me, sweetie? That's what I will say. The Dragon of Chaos, you know?
So I'm going to use, low resolution approximations, and those are going to be stereotypes. They're no different than categories. And then when I get to know you, I'll particularize it. But
I love this is literally, by the way, this is a justification for bigotry. Like, Jordan Peterson accidentally reveals that he is a bigoted person. When I see a woman, I don't go, oh, this is a woman, gotta put on my woman response. It's just another person, dog. Like, I'm not even being like over the top woke with this, okay? Because I sometimes say misogynistic shit as a joke, as a meme, whatever, right? Like, it's so stupid. Like, what do you mean? You're just like, literally, like, I'm not exactly the best feminist on the planet, okay? But it's such a psychotic thing to just reveal, to be like, yeah, when I see a woman, immediately I'm like misogyny mode. And then once I get to know you, then I'll treat you like a person. It's so weird. It's like, no, I can't be polite. Society will not coerce me to be polite. I'm a asshole. When I see a woman, I think Dragon of Chaos. Conservatives are always self-criticizing, dude. They're always engaging in self-crit.
it is that it allows the psychopathic types who are manipulative and power hungry to use you to use your guilt as a lever, and the left in particular.
Yeah, the idea, that's the funniest thing Jordan Peterson might have ever said in the last couple of years, other than the penis-sucking machines in China.
Jordan Peterson has completely lost it. And I know that because he has now taken to posting weird porn on Twitter to make points about China. Over the weekend, he hit this new low when he mistook a pornographic fetish video for China and its Communist Party's authoritarianism. In the video, 3 men are laying on a table in what appears to be a medical setting. The men are naked. There's a machine attached to their penises that robotically masturbates them. Okay. Now, the video was originally posted with this caption: "What's going on in China? 3 children policy? Warning, graphic pictures." It was a video, unfortunately. And Jordan Peterson took the bait. He quote tweeted it, complete with the explicit video, and said, "Such fun in unbelievable techno nightmare, CCP hell." First of all, techno's lovely. Don't touch techno. But this had nothing to do with, it was just a porn video. It had nothing to do with China. Like, does he think that the Chinese government has special facilities where men can go and have like their penises pumped?
I think he does. No, look, of all the dumb things Jordan Peterson has done, and this is amazing because this guy's considered the intellectual right-winger. Who looks at that porno and thinks, oh, I bet this is a real documentary about what the Chinese Communist Party is doing? You think there's warehouses in China where they've got all these men lined up into these contraptions? For what reason?
No, listen, the only question that needs to be asked is, how many bodies is he hiding in the basement? Like, there's something going on with this guy, okay? Even his own daughter responds to the tweet and says, "Dad, you can't retweet this on Twitter. My eyes will never recover." And the original poster says, "Sorry, my mistake. I found this video on WeChat and they said," oh, well, must be true. "They said this is China's collection room for sperm bank. Turns out this video is from UK."
So it's the UK government milking the men.
It's like saying conservatives are self-reflecting or engaging in the act of introspection is a laughable notion. You're literally at the main place conservatives go to, Fox News, to never engage in any kind of introspection, to basically have all of their cooked up ridiculous, oftentimes racially charged biases reinforced. It's ridiculous.
Especially the radical left, and those are where the real psychopathic types hang out. They're unbelievably good at manipulating guilt. And so, yeah, they're unbelievably good at it, you know, and everybody's got something to feel guilty about, which is also something that tyrants know.
I did want to ask you about the marriage statistics and the statistics for ruling out children. 1 in 4 are now ruling out kids. I'm wondering if they'll change their minds when they get older. 2 out of 5 think marriage is an outdated tradition. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you convince young people, as we have, that the planet's going to hell in a handbasket and that there are too many people and that your children do nothing but produce excess carbon dioxide and that you're contributing to the destruction of the planet, you know, by planning to have kids.
We should stop talking about climate change altogether, says the oil lobbyist, because it's bumming kids out. Love that. I'm sorry, the overwhelming majority of people are not making considerations about the ethics of bringing a life onto this planet due to anthropogenic climate change. They're not anti-natalist. They're just broke. They're working too much. You need to have both parents work full-time jobs in order to take care of a child. Make this make sense. Jordan Peterson refuses to recognize that capitalism is the main reason why it is unsustainable for new couples to have children. They can't afford it. It's like fucking 40 bills to have a child in a hospital. Who the fuck has that kind of moolah? God damn it. That's it. They don't have a house. They can't pay for the fucking medical bills. They can't pay for the child rearing. They don't even have federally mandated paid parental leave. Why the fuck would anybody have a child under those circumstances? It's so stupid.
Jordan, we've been over the last couple of days talking about the survey that's come out. You know, a lot of people think that kids who are in college are predominantly leaning way to the left.
Yeah.
Now there's this new survey that has come out that has shown that 12th grade high school boys are trending.
That's awesome. Dude, that's crazy. Okay? Oh, guys, it's sick. 12th graders and kids in high school are conservative now. We're saved. We're good.
12th grade high school boys are trending conservative, whereas 12th grade high school girls are trending to the progressive side.
Yeah.
So why suddenly are these young men becoming more conservative?
You know, because they've been listening to Joe Rogan.
No, it's Andrew Tate.
Well, that's definitely part of it. I mean,
It's probably Andrew Tate, for the record. It's not Joe Rogan.
there's
You're not kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. There's a countercultural conservative movement that's very, very powerful. And I also think that the young men who are
They're fucking 12th graders, man. They're children. They're babies. They're baby brained. Yes, they're responding to stimuli. There is no countercultural conservatism. Okay? That's it. They will find out that their politics resemble their fucking grandparents and their dads shortly thereafter and realize that it was gross. There are plenty of people in here in this community that were also a part of that supposedly counterculture wave of conservatism that wisened up to the reality that it's not counterculture at all to literally believe the exact same things that your dad believes, to believe the exact same things that you hear on Fox News or on an email chain online. It's just for the moment when they're in high school, when they're supposed to be in a relatively diverse learning environment, their teachers are telling them, don't be a fucking asshole. And of course, what's more asshole-ish and standoffish than conservative politics? That's it. It's very, very stupid.
Well,
So
that's how it looks.
You see a
On
lot of
that
the
note-
combat sports more getting into that. The combat sports, you see Zuckerberg and now doing it. A lot of people trying to. All right, if
Yeah, dude, I know. Working out is inherently a conservative value, which is why every fucking fat person on Fox News or at the Oklahoma Walmart, at Tulsa, Oklahoma Walmart, is actually a liberal. Great argument, man. Shut the fuck up. This idea that, like, working out is inherently reactionary is so stupid. Literally, 86% of cops are Republican voters, okay? 86% of police are Republican voters. They're all fucking fat.